world, everybody who listening, who can hear my voice right now, anybody who checking this out, which it ought to be everybody. Now it's time for me to introduce y'all to Mr. Selfish. You met Chicken George, you met GQ. Now it's time for you to meet Mr. Selfish, the one and only Mr. Selfish. Like I say, he's going to be a co-host. Right now, he's a special guest. He's going to be a co-host. You're going to be able to call in. You're going to be able to talk to him. You're going to be able to do all that fly shit as soon as I set the board up. But right now, you're getting to bear witness to the return of the one and only Mr. Selfish. How about it? So, Mr. Selfish, with no further ado, man, let's talk about the making. I want to talk about what led up to you going to prison. But before we get to that, you hit this motherfucking meat pimp blade so hard, man, that it made motherfuckers do a double take. And when I say motherfuckers, I'm talking about the niggas, the bitches. Hell, I mean, brother, I had to step back and look because, you know, my ism was small. You know, I had a few bitches doing whatever I needed them to do. But when you hit this motherfucker, I mean, it was just like you wasn't never meant to do nothing else but that. So start out by telling us, if you can remember, because you don't have so many, if you can remember your first hoe and when you first got your first official pimp dollar. Tell us about that.
Okay, watch this one, man. Wow, that takes me to my first official pimp dollar. I mean, it's too hard to just describe because I've been fucking with hoes for a long time, but the first bitch that I can say,
well, see, like, let me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but right. Like, having played the game myself and having been pretty much in every footstep that you ever made, I pretty much stepped in it.
Right.
So I know it's a difference between having a bitch that'll just do what you say or whatever, or having a bitch that you really breaking for real.
Right.
So when I say your first pimp dollar, I ain't talking about all the hoes who gave you their lunch money.
Right.
I ain't talking about all the hoes.
Okay,
I'm talking about the first time you sent a hoe and she knew she was going to get it and come back with it.
Okay, that had been Dominique.
Right.
That was. Oh man, I had this bad dark chocolate.
I remember Dominique.
Stump down. I mean, man, that bitch brought me so much motherfucking money. And what's so bad about it, she wanted me to have her money. She just she chose pimping. I didn't even choose the bitch. The bitch was a little more far advanced than I was. And man, that bitch just gave me a purse. She said, hey man, I'm gonna give you this money. I want you to manage it. I'm thinking, okay, bitch. All right then. Let's go. And she did it the first day. Then she came back the next day and gave me some more money. But every day was just fresh money. So, and then I was in high school at this time. And I remember I moved out and I started staying with her. And I remember the first night I went over there, she opened this drawer. She said, hey man, go open that drawer up and get you something out of there. I opened this drawer. I mean, it was just full of money. I'm like, okay. Who money is this? She said, that's your money. I'm like, so when she said that, I knew. I just woke up. I just like, hey man, it is what it is. This is my calling. So
that right there lit the fires. Gave you
man,
the
listen. But what's so bad about it, I never knew what a bitch worked. I never even questioned it. So one night, because she had two jobs. She went to work in the daytime and nighttime. Well, she told me she had two jobs, but one of them really wasn't a job. It was a hustle. So she was getting dressed one night. I say, where you going? She said, I'm gonna go to my second job. I said, yeah, but where is your second job? Then she finally just rolled the whole carpet out. She was like, hey man, I ain't want to tell you this, but yeah, all this money I've been giving you, I've been coming in late at night. Hey man, I see a pussy. And when she said that, I was like, okay, well, hey bitch, I'm pimping then, because you said pussy. You said a pussy, you giving me the money, then that mean I'm pimping.
Oh, really? That's what you doing, that's what I'm doing.
That's what I did. So after that, hey, I never looked back. But yeah, that was my first hoe, and she was actually a good hoe, and she treated me right. And like I say, I just learned. But now,
see, I remember Dominique. I never knew y'all dynamic.
Right.
But I remember she was like, I remember you was you had a fucking I don't know what you call it, like not so much a control factor, but you had a planet.
Right.
That's a good way to say it, and I remember that.
Right. So yeah, that was my first official whole dollar. And like I said, after that, I never looked back. But as I graduated from the game, when I first started out getting my feet wet, you know, you have to take control of everything. And one thing about it, you don't let no hoe say too much, because if you let the bitch do too much talking, then you'll be a tricky damn self. Because hey man, a hoe will end up sliding you a whiff of that motherfucker, and then you be up under the bitch spell. So I was really dominant and arrogant and controlling when I first just started out pimping. And then I remember one day, I was getting ready to lose a bitch, and I had a bottom hoe. She like, Daddy, you know this bitch getting ready to leave. I say, man, I don't give a fuck, let the bitch leave. And she say, no, Daddy, don't do it like that. She say, man, the bitch do whatever you tell her to do. She'll jump off a cliff right now. The bitch say, just lighten up on it. She say, but every time you tell her something, you controlling her. And it was like a light went off in my head. I was like, okay, bitch, I'm going to listen to what you saying. And once she told me that, that would open the door for me. Now I need to listen to what the bitch is saying. So then I started listening to what the hoes were saying. And when you listen to what your hoes say, the bitch might be giving you some real live game.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you trying to be the motherfucking alpha and don't want to listen to the bitch because you think the bitch out slicking you, hey, that could be too.
Mm-hmm.
That could be too. But hey, man, for the most part, when the bitch is talking, man, you need to listen to what the bitch saying, because the bitch just might be telling you something that you might need to know about the game. Because I know some hoes got pimps, they don't even tell them when they in danger, something to happen, because the bitch be like, shit, nigga, you don't give me no voice.
Right.
You don't give me no winner. You don't give me no outlet. You keep me closed up. You take all my motherfucking money. Still got me one of these old nasty ass shoes. I don't wear no expensive jewelry. No, I ain't got no car. You got me cooped up in this hotel for months and months, eating these motherfucking poking beans, these motherfucking TV dinners.
God damn.
And you working the dog shit out of me, and I can't speak. I'm really ready to leave your nigga ass.
Ooh-wee.
So hey, man.
And then it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, you the architect, you the blueprint, you the pimp, but the bitch is the one out there building the house.
Right.
So it makes sense to listen to her. It makes sense to listen to her. If she tell you, man, we're gonna need 6 nails to hold this piece of wood together, why the hell would you go out there and think you can do it with 2?
Right.
Yeah, I can dig it, man.
Right. So hey, man, but you know you have to live by trial and error. And hey, man, shout out to my partner, Young Mac Clever, my partner, King Z, my partner, Mr. Magnificent.
Right on.
Hey, man, all these niggas on lockdown right now. And shout out to my homeboy, Mr. Fancy, just came home, man. Hey, man, these my real P partners, man. I love y'all, but hey, man, they made a sacrifice. See, when you in this game of cop and blow and lose your hoe, hey, man, this is not nothing you can really play with, because hey, man, hoes lose their life every day. Pimps lose their life every day. This shit is the real deal Holyfield. This is nothing you, this not no motherfucking comic view. You can't look at no motherfucking movie and learn this shit. Hey man, this is some real live in the trenches type shit.
Man.
But I'm giving them niggas shouts out because them niggas did what they did. And hey man, but at the same time, they still relevant. They still relevant to the world, because there's some hoes around here still talking about the niggas right motherfucking now. There's some hoes around here still paying them niggas like right motherfucking now. And I just got to give a shout out to my people that's locked up and all the other pimps locked up. I'm talking about it's a bunch of niggas locked up, but I'm shouting out to my main people partners. How about it?
Hey man, that's real talk, man. And I'm gonna give a shout out to all them cats and also plus Magnificent, man. You know, once you introduced me to him, me and him became real tight real quick. And he was a cold piece of work. And you know, hopefully them cats hold it down and see the day of light once again.
Right on.
So tell me this, man. Now, I done been interviewed a few times by a few people, and I always asked who I felt like was the coldest to do it in Dallas, Texas. And every time I was asked, no matter who I named, I always came around to Mista Selfish. I might have named a couple of other cats, but I always came back to Mista Selfish. Now, being one of the coldest, if not the coldest, to do it in Dallas, because I ain't gonna lie, I done heard of some niggas some other places that'll give you a run for your money. But as far as Dallas, Texas, being the coldest cat, or if not one of the coldest cats to do it, who would you get that ticket to? The coldest to do it in Dallas.
Man, listen. Right now, I'm looking at the game as an overall because there's a few cats that I'm really just watching because, you know, they honorable pimps. I mean, a pimp that's honorable is a motherfucker that's respected. Ravish and Red. Hey, man, I ain't forget about you. That's my partner. Hey, man, you know, these niggas is really, really respected. Mr. Good Looking. I ain't forget about you. Hey, man, Gorgeous. Man, Gorgeous been stumped down on bitches' necks for like 15 years straight. He getting 500 Benzes and traveling the world. He's still doing it at a high motherfucking level. I love that nigga there. And that's one of the first niggas that ever knocked me for a bitch.
Right on.
I got to get that nigga his props. But hey, man, I'm talking about the game is just still being played. It's being played like it was yesterday, like it's going to be played tomorrow, like it's going to be played in 20 years from now. Hey, man, the game goes around and around. It evolves, though. So if you ain't going to evolve with it, you're going to get left motherfucking behind. And like I say, it's so many niggas just doing it on a high level. I just had a players ball. We just had our third annual players ball. Hey, man, it was magnificent.
Right on.
I mean, I had some pimps I ain't never met.
A lot of young cats.
Young pimps.
It in.
Shout out to Mr. Motherfucking Lavish, my P partner that introduced me to these young pimps. Rooster. Mr. G.
Mr. G, yeah, that little young cat.
Yeah, Legendary Larry.
Legendary Larry, yeah.
Hey, man, I'm talking about the list goes on and on, man. I'm talking about Rollo the Pimp. Hey, man, I just got big shots of my P partner, man, the Mac, the coldest Mac that ever did it and got away with it. Valentino, man, out there dirty South Dallas. He got 3 businesses on one script. He checking it in and checking it out every day, man. Y'all go check him out. Hey, man, I just got so much love and I appreciate the nigga because, hey, man, to do it on a high level like I was doing it, it's going to take a lot out of you, man, because I was sleeping this shit. I was eating this shit. I was about this shit every day. I don't have no girlfriends. I don't fuck with no punk bitches. I don't have no faggot hoes on my teams. I had real, live, 100% stump down, sucker dick, turn a trick, break a trick hoes. I'm talking about all my hoes was top flight. I don't fuck with none faggot. And like I say, man, getting money was a daily. I'm talking about I ain't give my hoes no days off. So if a bitch say she had a day off, she wasn't fucking with me.
Right on.
Because, hey, man, my bitch don't get no days off. They get some hours off to take care of their business. Mother Day, bitch, you working. Christmas, on your birthday, you working. You don't have no days off. But like I say, man, to do it on the level I was doing it, man, I was just blessed. And I knew what to do because I was groomed on pimping. Like I say, my mama gave me the best game, and then I learned from some of my OGs, and you understand what I'm saying? But hey, at the end of the day, you know, I'm here.
I can dig. You said, oh boy, I forgot his name. You said he was one of the first cats to ever knock you for a broad. Gorgeous, yeah. So, okay, so I was gonna ask you the question, who was the first one? But since you already told us, tell us how you handled that, like when your man knocked you for your broad.
Oh man, listen. It was it was early in the morning, probably about between 9 and 10 o'clock. I had just hit one of my best bitches down. I'm talking about I had a thoroughbred. I'm talking about bitches making $1,000. I'm talking about clicking her heels and turning into $1,000 bills. I'm talking about so motherfucking quick. The bitch was a racehorse.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just hit the bitch down probably about 9 o'clock that morning. And shit, I get a phone call from Gorgeous probably about an hour later. He called me. He done served me right. And this is the first time I'm being served. It's kind of like, like you got some diamond rings on. It's like if you lose your favorite diamond ring, you know it's gone, but you're going to remember it because you know how it used to make you feel and how it looked on your hand. Man, when that nigga knocked me that motherfucking morning about 10 o'clock, I had a real ill feeling like, damn, I done lost my motherfucking diamond ring. But hey, I didn't even panic, man. I'm talking about 3 o'clock that evening, I ended up getting a phone call and getting 2 fresh bitches. The same day he knocked me from my hoe, I ended up getting 2 fresh bitches about like 3 o'clock that motherfucking afternoon. So hey, man, you lose one and get 2 more coming through the door. Hey, man, that's a knock re-knock and get knocked some more game. Hey man, that's the way the game
That's
is.
the way it goes. Copy blow, lose your hope.
Yeah.
Now, dig this. If I'm right, I'm gonna tell you a story that you probably did never know. But if I'm wrong, we're gonna move on. Now, the broad that he knocked you for, was that Miss Danny?
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you something you probably did never know. She was with that nigga about 3 days, and she called me scared than a motherfucker. She said, man, she said, Diamond, I think I made a bad mistake, man. And she's like, man, I was, stuttering and shit. I said, bitch, tell me what you want. Quit playing. Tell me, talk to me. She said, man, I want to go home. She said, I want to go back to daddy, but I'm scared. I said, what you scared of? She said, I'm scared, man. She said, I done chose up with this other motherfucker and I don't know what he gonna do. I said, what? Goddamn, what? You ain't gonna find out if you don't go? I said, now what part you want me to play? She's like, I want you to come pick me up from him, take me back to Selfish. And I was like, well, no. I said, well, bitch, if I do all that, that means you choosing me. You know
right on, right on.
I say, shit, you got that, but I say, now what I will do, I'll help you walk through the door.
Right.
And you get home, I'll meet you over there and I help you walk through the door. That way, if my brother get a little heated, maybe I can calm him down. Maybe. And I made sure she understood. Maybe I said, but you got to understand, that ain't my business.
Right.
What me and you got is a friendship. What you and him got is some other shit. So you got to understand that. I'm your friend. That's your folk.
Right.
So I can't interfere with that. And she was like, hi. So she never did call me back after that. I guess she wasn't ready to take that chance.
Listen, that bitch was gone for 3 days, and the bitch called me back saying, Dad, I want to come home. I said, bitch, it's going to cost you $5,000 to come back and fuck with my pimping. She said, Dad, I'll pay anything. I'll pay. I'm like, but what the fuck? You just chose up with Gorgeous. What is he doing over there? I don't know. I don't even want to speak on my partner. But hey, man, Gorgeous, you're a good pimp, man. That's all I say. Gorgeous pimping is gorgeous pimping for real.
Right on. Everybody pop their collar different. You know?
I ended up getting the bitch back a week later. The bitch ended up giving me half the money. And the same day the bitch came in, she went and got the rest of the money. So I broke on the bitch for $5,000 after losing the bitch for probably about 6 days.
Yeah, so that was a 6-day break you needed.
Yeah. Then, but this is the reason why the bitch left. I mean, you know, some pimps might experience this. You know, I'm the kind of pimp that I'm a pimp. I'm not no motherfucking sugar daddy. I'm not no trick. I ain't gonna do no fucking. I don't even fuck on the bitch. That's what I got the bottom bitch for. And when she came in, even though I was grooming the bitch, giving the bitch the best pimping she could ever have, the best pimping that she needed, that was a little bit too much because I had an in-call spot. I left at the spot, gave her the key, told her what to do every day, keep the house clean, all the food. Hey, the bitch was living by herself, but that really wasn't, she wasn't expecting that. She thought it was going to be like, I was going to be like more hands-on, but I had some more bitches. I just used to go check the paper. And the bitch had got real complacent. She had got kind of lonely. She wanted like a boyfriend pimp. She thought pimping was a boyfriend where a nigga come in and sleep with her and fuck on her and snuggle with her. I wasn't doing none of that shit. I was just seeing the bitch every day. So, hey, man, the bitch left me because she made what they call a mad move. And a lot of pimps know what a mad move is. Hey, man, it's just because of something so small. And it really wasn't about me not pimping on the bitch. It was just like, hey, man, I didn't show a bitch enough affection and direction. I gave the bitch a direction, but I wasn't giving no bitch affection. And she felt like, hey, man, if I go over here, this nigga might fuck on me. He might, you know what I'm saying, lay in the bed with me. He might suck on my titty or something. But I wasn't doing none of that, bitch. I was just seeing the bitch. So she made a mad move. But when she went to Gorgeous, I don't know what he did. That bitch was not feeling that. That bitch called me back, and she got back in pocket. And I told the bitch $5,000. Hey, man, the rest is motherfucking history. But yeah.
Yeah, and she told me out of her own mouth years later after you've been through fucking with her, she told me, man, that your brother was the best. I ain't never had instructions better than his. Right. Yeah, by the time I'm talking to her with this conversation, she done experienced a few more pimping. She had one white pimp, one white simp. Simp. She had a dyke bitch that was supposed to be a girlfriend that was supposed to be a pimp. So she had a few motherfuckers. She's like, man, ain't nobody never gave it to me as good as Mista Selfish.
I mean, you got to understand, it's like this here. You know, if you got a good hoe keeper, I I ain't gonna lie, Pete. You got you a good bitch, man. Keep the bitch, man. Because, hey, man, a good bitch is hard to find. You'll find a whole bunch of nickels and dimes, man. But you find you a motherfucking quarter piece or half a dollar, yeah, man, keep the bitch, man. Because the bitch is gonna pay, and she gonna pay to stay, and she not gonna play. But like I say, man, for my calling, I just have some stumped down type of bitches. But you know, I teach them hoes how to play the game, and like I say, it's instructions with me first. Purrs first, ass last. And I don't even want no motherfucking ass. I want the purrs, and I'm gonna give you a bunch of game and a bunch of instructions. Go give me my money. Don't give me no motherfucking problems. We're gonna have an alright day.
Yes, sir. Already. I'm gonna ask you this, man, because we got to get ready to wrap it up.
Right.
But before we do that, I want to go down 2 more avenues. The first, like I said, I get interviewed a lot, and then people always ask me, man, you know, being a nigga, you know, who done did some pimping, being a nigga who associated with one of the coldest pimps and everything, they always ask me who I think the coldest pimp is. Now, do you remember my partner, Yellow Shoes?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to tell you.
R.I.P. the Yellow Shoes.
R.I.P. the Yellow Shoes. I miss that dude. Now, I'm
yeah,
tell
I
you.
miss that nigga too. That's my nigga. I
Say,
fuck with
man,
Yellow Shoes.
I fucks with him a long way, man. Now, I'm going to tell you, at one point, I mean, I was, I don't even know how to say it, man. I was fascinated with the moves that nigga was making.
Mm-hmm.
I was fascinated with the moves that nigga was making, man. And I remember I had told you one time we was at the club in Redbird, I think called Vuku Rays, whatever the fuck that club was, where I met that broad Ebony at. And I told you, I was like, say, man, this dude here is doing something. We got to figure out what this nigga is doing. You know, and you told me, man, don't sweat that nigga, man. Whatever he doing, you know, it ain't better than what we doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you kind of reeled me in off the ledge.
Right.
So I'm bringing all that up. I'm bringing all that up just to say I felt like the nigga was like, at one point in my book, first best.
Right.
And then dunk, you know, later on dunk down to second best.
Right.
What kind of tickets you give my man Yellow Shoes?
Hey, man, I got to get that nigga his props. That nigga Yellow Shoes, man, that nigga gave me so much motherfucking game. That nigga, that was an inspiration to me because I watched him, I mimicked him, I looked at his game and the way he presented it. That nigga used to dress so motherfucking fly like me, and that nigga had all his bitches and like yellow shoes. And
yeah,
man, that nigga was a beast.
Cold,
that nigga,
man. First
I mean,
nigga I
hey,
ever met
man,
with a rose
man, I'm talking about that nigga was doing it at a high level, and I was like a young nigga, but that nigga was, I got to give it to you. I got to give Yellow Shoes his motherfucking props. I don't know what, I forgot about him, but Yellow Shoes got to be my top dog because, like I say, he represented that shit.
Wow.
When you see him, he got, you know, 6 bitches
Yeah.
in Yellow Shoes, and them hoes getting it in. Them hoes was not playing no games. I'm talking about some bad bitches. I'm talking about them hoes was cutthroat. I'm talking about pocket cutting, silver cutting, razor blade cutting. Them was some, yeah, Yellow Shoes was the top nigga in my era besides me and a couple more of my niggas. But yes, I forgot about Yellow Shoes.
Yeah,
and,
man. He used to call. I remember that nigga used to throw money out into the
Oh,
crowd,
yeah, man,
like
that
before
yeah.
Making It Rain was a thing. He was already
he was
doing
already
that shit.
getting in.
But
yes,
I just
Yellow
want to
Shoes.
know what you thought about, man. But anyway, so before we end, oh, I said I want to go down 2 avenues. Now, give us a little information about what got you sent to prison, and if you think you would make those kinds of moves again, or if you know how to see that shit coming and get out the way, or what? Like, what got you actually sent to prison?
Well, me being on top of my game, you know, at a high level, you know, when a pimp is moving and sticking and grooving, hey man, we don't pay attention to small things because small things don't matter. We on some big level shit. And I was moving real fast at this time. And I was fucking with my partner named Icy Mike, a good friend of mine, Crip nigga. I fuck with them Crip niggas too.
Right on.
And I fuck them blood niggas.
In the bloods, right. We
I
got
fuck,
to
I
pass that
fuck with the
work.
Crips and the blood. I fuck with Neutron niggas, all the niggas. But I was fucking with my partner, and he had just came home. And I remember when he came home, you gave him a watch. I went and got him some new kicks and some outfits. You know, we welcome him home. You know, that's what pimps do. Get welcome home. You get a package. And I was fucking with him. And one night he was at my in-call spot. Now he was ho-po.
Mm-hmm.
I had about 6 bitches, so I didn't even really need no bitches. And he likes to ride with me because, like I say, I opened the door for the dude. I used to let him drive my cars. I used to let him sit in on some sessions. I'm talking about let him see how my my answer service was working. I was really grooming the dude. And he was at my spot one night, and we was on the chat line. The adult chat line was on the Vibe line. And since he didn't know nothing about it, I made contact with these 2 bitches, right? And they stayed right over there by Georgetown in Pleasant Grove. So I'm talking to one of the bitches, and she said, "Oh yeah, man, I got my friend with me." So I was like, "Okay, that's a good look." I said, "Cause I got my partner with me." So we did the 2-on-2 thing. We went and picked these old punk faggot ass bitches up, and we brought her back to my in-call spot. But now, if anybody know anything about the adult chat line, no matter what chat line it is, they always tell you, you must be 18 to be on the line, and we're not responsible for anything that happens if you hook up. So me knowing this, right? So I asked the broad on the line, "Hey man, how old you were?" She said I was 18. And then when I went and picked her up that night, when she got in my Suburban, I turned around and asked, "Hey man, how old are you?" She said I was 18, so that's all it took. But I wasn't even looking for no hoe. I already got bitches down. But I'm doing this because I'm fucking my partner Icy Mike, and he trying to get him some fresh work. So we end up bringing the bitches back to my in-call spot. To make a long story short, we end up fucking with the bitches for about 45 minutes. Now, I'm babysitting this bitch, but Icy Mike is trying to cut into a homegirl. So about 45 minutes later, you know, he knocked on the door. He said, "Hey man, the bitch ready to go." So we dropped the bitches back off in the Grove area. Man, the next motherfucking day, this bitch called me. Now, if I meet a bitch the night before on the adult chat line, and she told me 2 times she was 18, hey man, that's her story. So I believed it. And then the bitch was not no little bitty bitch. She was a big bitch with big titties. So the next day, the bitch called me. To make a long story short, I rode around Pleasant Grove for about 45 minutes. We chopped it up. But now, I didn't fuck with the bitch that day. I did not even, I just gave her, but she called me the next day saying, "Hey, Selfish, there's something about you. I want to fuck with you." So I went and picked the bitch up. We chatted for a while. I dropped the bitch back out about 45 minutes later. So that this was Saturday, because we met him that Friday night on the Vibe line. So Wednesday she called me and she said, "Hey man, I got a cousin that want to get in too." So I was like, "Okay." I said, "Your cousin got ID?" Like, "Yeah, she got ID." I said, "How old is she?" She said she was 18 and her cousin had a baby. Make a long story short, man, I end up that next week when Gorgeous called me and knocked me at 10 o'clock that morning. I told you about 3 o'clock that evening, I got 2 fresh pieces of work, and these are the fresh 2 pieces of work. Mm-hmm. So when I got the bitches, I didn't even ask for no motherfucking ID, because they said I already went through that. So hey man, I set them hoes down.
Plus they was on the 18-year-old chat line.
And then they was on the chat line, and hey man, next thing you know, a month later, man, come out to find out them hoes was not who they said were. But not only did they lie to me, they lied to everybody in my organization. They lied to you, because I think you met Coco. Mm-hmm. And then, hey man, they lied to Danny. They lied to Vegas. They lied to Summer. They lied to Chocolate. They lied to all my bitches. They was lying to the tricks too. But hey man.
Yeah, because the hoe told me she was 21.
Yeah, so hey man, the bitches just end up, but like I say, they played that game with themselves, and hey man, here I am.
Right on.
I went to court. I took it to trial. I lost. I got a life sentence for compelled prostitution ×2. I got 20 years on one bitch, life on the other bitch. I did 10 years flat. And hey man, God seen something better, because it was just, but like I say, it's a lot of more steps to go with this shit too. It's a lot of more, things, information I can give. But hey, man, since my case is still open, I can't really talk about too much detail about it because it's still on appeal, and I'm gonna get this motherfucker back. But hey, and I accepted that. I mean, I wasn't bitter about it because, like I say, the way the bitches put that front up, hey man, them hoes came to work every day. Them hoes came to work with a smile on their face. They was energetic. Hey man, they had a bunch of motherfucking energy. They was about that hoeing. Them hoes went out and made money. They didn't do no complaining. They didn't do no whining. They didn't do no crying. But when them hoes came to court, oh man, I gotta give them hoes 2 shout outs. When them hoes came to court, them hoes told the motherfucking truth on the motherfucking stand, which made the back of my motherfucking hair on my neck roll up. I was like, tell them, bitch. Tell these white folks motherfucking truth about how we met and what the fuck y'all lied. Because they lied. They just...
No, and they admitted they lied.
Oh, they admitted that. I mean, that's all in the transcript. They told the DA, the jury, everybody.
Already. Well, okay, well, I don't want to go too much. Like you say, you got your court, but the reason I want to bring that up because, most of the time, your fight is my fight, even though you tell me don't
worry about me
and everything.
Let me take this.
But I worry about you just like you worry about me.
Right on.
So even though you tell me that shit going one ear and not the other.
Right.
Now, I started this shit, this askapimp, and I had a bunch of motherfuckers, so-called pimps, and maybe some real ones, I don't know, coming on there trying to badmouth you, talking about you fucking with kids and all this. And I even reported, usually I don't even play that game. I don't do no cyber arguing with no motherfucker. But it pissed me off to the point because I know these niggas was talking on shit that they didn't know about.
They know nothing about it.
So I made 1 or 2 replies and I said, hey man, sometimes when you blind, some shit I said, some shit, sometimes you blind to the fact you don't see all the moving parts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I said, so for you motherfuckers to be on here trying to tell the world that my brother's fucking with kids, you need to shut your fucking mouth if you don't know what you're talking about. I said the brother was a victim in this situation.
Right.
The bitches lied.
Right.
And so this is the reason why I wanted you to just speak on it. So now the world know that everything I was telling them is the truth, man. I mean, if a motherfucker tell you I'm 18 and she look every bit of 21, I mean, you don't date motherfuckers. You don't date motherfuckers and take motherfuckers out to eat and ask them for ID. She ain't trying to come work for Sears. You know what I'm saying? You ask me, hey man, you 18, okay, you 18, you 20, whatever, okay, you roll with that. And that's what happened. And we're gonna end that on that.
You know what? Let me say one more thing, then I'm cool with this. For all my pimp partners that have the exact kind of case I have, if I ask niggas, hey man, did you know the bitch was underage? Hey man, about 90% of them niggas be like, hell no, man, the bitch. So I'm not the first. I'm not gonna be the last. That's just a trick. That's part, like I say, but that's part of the game.
And even when it ain't got nothing to do with, even when it ain't got nothing to do with pimping, you got grown motherfuckers, grown men, and doing time in jail now because a little young chick done lied to them, and they ain't trying to pimp on them. They just trying to get some pussy, or just have a pretty little bitch on their side or whatever. So I'm saying it ain't just the ism. So it ain't like just because you're a pimp, you're a bad dude because this happened. This shit is happening to a lot of people everywhere. So all you niggas out there, whether you got the ism or whether you just easy dicking these bitches, you need to be careful, man, because these young bras will get your ass put up.
For real.
Okay, now.
And hey, check ID.
Check ID. Physically. Put the shit in your hand.
Yeah. And don't make sure it's not one of them motherfucking 75 Chinese motherfucking IDs. You get some real DVD, Dallas Public, what is it? DMV ID. Yeah, get you some real ID, man. Don't get that old bullshit, cause it is what it is. But I accept that. I'm here. I don't give a fuck about that. I push that shit behind me. I'm gonna push on forward.
Yes, sir. You hear? That's what it is.
I'm gonna push on forward.
Now check this out. Look. Y'all can get y'all original game t-shirts
right on
at www.alloriginalgame.com. You can find out where we're gonna be at on there. You can find out, you can get you some good cologne from on there. We got a new spot that we're gonna be doing Sunday nights. I'm gonna put the address to that on there. And if you want to fuck with us in person and be a part of these live tapings, you can come there and be a part of it, and everything like that, man. And let's give it up for my main man, my brother, man. I love this dude, Mista Selfish, right there at one time, baby.
Right on,
Yeah,
Pete.
gonna give them some shouts, man, and take us
Hey,
out.
man, I'm for the shout out. Like I say, man, I done shout out to the people that I really sincerely fuck with every day. But hey, man, to all you niggas out there that's really getting it, hey, man, remember this here. Stack your bread, man. I mean, don't let your money get so motherfucking high to where you don't know what to do with your money, man. Flip your money, man. It's so much pimps can do these days that'll make the whole world frown on you niggas. If you niggas just come together, y'all get more motherfucking money than the motherfucking president. But y'all niggas need to hook up. Y'all niggas need to put something down solid, man. And give back, man. Give something back to the neighborhoods, man. The neighborhoods you niggas come out of. Because me, I'm a firm believer. I support all businesses, but I really support businesses in the $5. Shout out to 3D's Daiquiri Bar and Grill, my nigga Trigger.
Yep, Big Trigger.
Shout out to Freedoms.
Yep.
African Shop on Martin Luther King.
Fly ass clothes.
Shout out to motherfucking Valentino's, 3 Script, Soul Food,
5-Star Lounge,
5-Star Lounge, and his clothes, One Shop Fashion.
Yep.
Hey man, shout out to all my partners, man, that's doing anything positive with their money, man. Y'all keep it business, and I'm out.